Webster. I'm your host, Nathan Webster. I'm excited to chop it up with you today. Today for episode 181, we're going to talk about the red flags of marketing. I got my girl Ray, my man Jay. We're about to chop it up. So if you're a first-time listener, welcome to the show. We're about to make it go down. If you're I can't say, I'm just going to say a family, because you've been rocking with me ever since you know when, and you are a listeners from all around the world. Just continue to pour in love, sharing the podcast, you rating, you reviewing. Thank you so much for rocking with us today. If you want to leave a review, please do so. I highly encourage it. And if you do, send me an email at info@nwebsterllc.com, and I will email you back and get the deets so I can send you a shirt. So without further ado, let's chop this up, because the last episode we went a little bit long. This time we're going to keep it short, under 15 minutes. So folks, here we go. Who wants to start us off with the red flags of marketing?
I am going to start us off with mind reading. When folks come to us and they say, hey, what would you do for me? Or, hey, how would you solve this problem? Well, dear person, I don't know, because I haven't heard the problem. So got to pay for that. Jay, go.
Red flag. Send me a proposal right away without really talking to me. I like to call them like tire kickers. So like say, someone heard about me, a referral. Say, hey, so-and-so referred you. How much would this cost? Nope, I'm done. You don't even know me. I don't know what you're doing. Like, I can't make up a magic number without even knowing what you sell. Like, that's a conversation. And then if it makes sense, we can go further. But just don't hit me up saying, just tell me how much it costs. For you, sometimes what I'll do is give an outrageous number just so they can leave me alone. Yeah, $5,000 to have a conversation. I ain't got time for that.
Yeah, it's kind of coming, that's right. Going back to the last episode, I ain't got time for that, right? It's funny, that's exactly mine, because in the academic world, as a college professor, there's students that want to intern with you. And it's like, I ain't got time for that. And that is a huge red banner of what are you going to intern, shadow, follow, learn? I don't understand. What are you trying to do? Well, and they say, well, I don't know. I just want to know what you do. Well, here, let me give you a book about marketing. And you can learn about all the different channels, tunnels, how people can dig in deep. You can mine for marketing. Like, there's not just one thing. As I say, marketing is like medicine. You can go so many different directions, but it's like, I ain't got time for that. And that's a red flag. So that's why for all those, I say, hey, can I intern for you? It's since we don't curse on here, it's a no. It's a no. It's a no.
And I always just I can't say the word. This is for people who like have businesses like this conversation, not for like the regular Joe. Like you're selling a service. We're talking about marketing, but any service, there's red flags when you get a potential client that may want to talk to you. That, okay, like your little spidey senses should come off. Like, for example, if you're talking to somebody and they're just constantly talking over you, talking at you, in the first conversation, that's just like a recipe. You know what the rest of the journey's going to be like. Is it worth dealing with this person who's talking over you, act like they know everything, and just don't want to listen to you? It's not that serious. Let it go. That's a red flag for sure. I know by experience that is a huge red flag.
I'm going to add to that and say people who cancel meetings and always want to reschedule, seemingly thinking you have all the time in the world. We don't. We have other clients. You're not the only person. And the only person I'm playing tag for and chasing is my 7-year-old. So I don't understand. Like, if you set a time, I get things come up. Like, you can't stop emergencies. We're not cruel, heartless people over here. But at the same time, if you're somebody who is chronically canceling meetings, we can't get your work done unless we meet with you. And if you do that before we even start business, my answer personally is going to be no. It's one time, cool. Second time, probably not, to be real with you, unless it's like a medical emergency. And third time, there is no such thing as a third time over here. It's not a 3 strikes you're out policy. It's 2.
Oh, man, I love this round Red Robin we're doing this, because I think I said Red Robin versus round. I think I'm getting hungry. It is red. Yeah, but I think the other piece to that is and I think as we discussed, and Ray, you brought it up a couple of episodes ago, when you start trying to say that you've done marketing before, but nothing that you have given me looks like a marketing professional has touched it. It's just something you may have done on Canva. Not to say there's anything wrong with Canva. You can produce a lot of fire things on Canva. But when you say you know, Ray's like, full disclosure, I use Canva.
But it
And
ain't
I
Photoshop.
can use Photoshop. I just don't want to.
Like, say I'm a Canva expert versus Photoshop expert is two very different things. And those cost a different amount. Like, if you can afford it, go to Photoshop person. If it's just you, you're probably doing Canva.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Nope,
Just be
nothing.
honest and say that we don't know where to start, so we started with Canva. I'm like, okay, cool, but don't say, oh yeah, we have a whole color palette full of your marketing portfolio, and it's just a logo that's black and white you sketched on a napkin, and then you did a Canva template, and you said you created this.
I mean,
Ray's
I
having flashbacks.
create Canva templates and I create color palettes. And I do know how to use Photoshop and Illustrator. I did go to art school. I just, at the price that folks pay me, you're not getting Photoshop Rayland, okay? That's just the name of the game here. But looking at that, like, I can tell even that you even chose one of the top 4 templates because you're too lazy to keep diving and figure out what like actually matched your brand. And then you're like, I made this color palette because they're my favorite colors. And then you're like so married to them, but guess what? They really don't actually help you from a DEI perspective. That's diversity, equity, inclusion for those who have been under a rock the last 3 years. And then I'm sitting there, I'm like, yeah, but these colors are all so similar in shades that somebody who's colorblind can't even tell what they're reading because they just see a block. And you don't even understand the balance of color and which one's supposed to be used at 60% and 25%. And where are your neutrals? Oh, the red flags. Okay. It's
like the psychology in the coloring is like, you can't tell me, okay, you work in construction, but yet you're using pastels. Well, yeah, well, my wife wanted to have a hand in it. Well, you need to tell her to mind her business because this is not part of it. This is not where she should be meddling.
And chartreuse for my construction company.
Look, I got one right here. I got unrealistic expectation. I'm sorry, a red flag. Sorry. And just hearing Ray talk, thinking me and Ray do the same thing. Think I could do what she could do, and vice versa. Like that irks me. Or I'm a web developer. Okay. Yeah, you could run ads, do it organic, and design your website. No.
Yeah, no. And it's like, I can go and determine whether or not just inspect your source code of, oh, that's a WordPress theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
WordPress, Shopify, Wix. It's one of those top 3. If you got something else like that, it's probably like a custom crappy website. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You
don't want me running your ads anymore. That's just asking for you to put money in a blender. Like, let's keep it honest here. Did I learn how to code? Sure. Have new like scripts come through? Absolutely. You don't want me coding for you. You're going to get this horrible CSS website that looks like it's from 1997. Like, no.
Is CSS still? I don't even know. Like, I haven't touched the back end is such a long, like a theme editor is such a long time. Like,
it's there. It's just like it's like HTML. It's like,
I'm good. I haven't done that. Like my site's WordPress. I can change the back end, but like going like coding, nah, that ain't me, player. That ain't me.
If we did not just prove that we cannot do what each one of us does in this like 50 seconds, we don't know what else to say.
When you talk about branding color palettes, I'm like, what are they talking about? I don't know what they're talking about, but it sounds like they do. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like when people say, when I ask like, so what's your long-term plan for marketing? They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, is this a one-time expense? Like, what's your budget? Well, we haven't really thought about that. We're just going to just play it, one step at a time. I was like, oop, that's okay. Well, I might not be for you. That's another red flag, because coming back to, I'm like, are you done after, like, are you done marketing with this after this project, or are you
your business closing at that
point? They don't have a plan, so it's always a bad one. We're just trying this out. We're gonna test it for a month to see what happens. I'm gonna tell you right now, nothing's gonna happen.
And I'm gonna change my mind. Oh, that is the red flag. Sorry, just like light bulb moment. When somebody comes to you and they say, I tried this and I tried this and I tried this and I tried this. And you say, okay, how long did you try those things? Well, for like a day, and then like for a week, and then for like a month. Y'all, you need like 3 months to vet if something works or not.
All right. And did they themselves do it? And guaranteed it probably didn't work if they actually did it. It failed horribly.
Yeah. Man. So we're coming close to time, but I also love it when they say like, yeah, our podcast had 20,000 views. Like a podcast doesn't get views, it gets downloads. At that point, I don't know if I should bust them out, or I'm like, where are you getting 20,000 from? Are you? Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, oh, really? I've just said I'm cool, but at that point, I realize that's a red flag, and we're done talking.
I also would challenge somebody if they're like, even if it was 20,000 downloads, 20,000 downloads could be great, epic numbers. But did 20,000 people purchase from you? Or was there a person running an ad on that episode that you made more money of? Because at that point, it's still a pet project. And like, that's an impressive number if that's important to you. I'm not going to take that away. If your goal of your podcast wasn't to make money, then cool. But you're probably also not coming to Nathan for your marketing if that's the case. So being realistic in the light of this conversation, that's the equivalent of getting likes on a social media post. It is a vanity metric, and the end.
Yeah,
Or,
it's like,
the
I got
equivalent of a
invited to
billboard.
this. Yeah, so and I was just gonna say that's like getting invited to speak at a panel. If you're not getting paid for it, that's a vanity metric as well. If you're not getting paid for any of the content you're putting out, and if you think you're being successful, not to say it's not important, that's all part of your funnel, but you're still at the top of your funnel. You might be in the second phase of creating interest and gaining traction, but like Ray said, if you're not sending out proposals or having potential where a prospect client meeting is happening, you should probably think how successful you are. If you can't see me, I have air quotes on success.
Yeah, and this is my last one, and this is like the most obvious one, y'all. I've talked about this before. Unrealistic expectations, and I'll give you a quick example. So I've ran a few local services, local Facebook ad campaigns, and these businesses are really good. They have referrals. Referrals close very easily because they're referrals. Now, someone said, "Oh God, referrals! I'm gonna do Facebook ads." Okay, expecting their Facebook ad leads will close at the same rate as the referral leads. That's a big one. Not even remotely close. Your rate's going to crash and burn. Well, they don't know you. It's going to take a while. So it's just like, if I run Facebook ads for whatever XYZ amount a month, I'll get this many leads and divide it in my current close rate. I'll do this. No, you can't look at it like that. You can't. You have to test out this program for a while and then get a gauge what that percentage for those cold leads are. And then keep going from there.
I'm going to double down on unrealistic expectations. When folks come to us and like, oh my gosh, I have to do this. In 2 weeks, this is happening. And it's like, well, 2 weeks was too late. How am I supposed to solve your problem? What you're asking me to do is to solve your time management issue. I'm not in the business of operations, okay? That's a you problem.
When I first started, I would love when people said, yeah, our marketing is this and we need marketing help and all this other stuff. And I was like, oh, that's money. That's cha-chings. I'm like Donald Duck and like cha-ching. But then I realized if everything they're saying is marketing help, I'm like, there's stages of marketing. Like, do you need lead generation? Do you need creative help? Do you need paid ad? Like, where is the chasm? Where is your weakness? What's your opportunities? What's your threats? If you can't speak that language, that's a red flag. And honestly, you're a hot grease fire. I don't want to work with you. I don't want to send any of my friends, Ray or Jay, and work with you. That's a hot grease fire. So here, we can do one last round. I know we already said one, but
I'm going to wrap this one up real quick with your fire is not our emergency. Okay? That is all.
Bars.
I'm not a firefighter. I'm a brand strategist.
And I'll just say, any of those things you two just touched on, if you take that job 9 times out of 10, it's going to fail. They'll get mad at you. You'll get frustrated at them. Yeah, you got paid, but your reputation might be ruined. Your confidence might be ruined. Like, you can't control all that stuff. Like, if you need the money, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? You gotta take the job. It is what it is. We've all been there. You're working. You're just trying to get started. You gotta take these crappy jobs. It happened to me. But once you can establish, you can say you can say no to people. Like if it's like your spices is tingling, back off. Just back off.
And the
Jay, where can people
profit,
find you
there's
at?
no profit.
Oh, go ahead, Ray. Go
Oh,
ahead.
I was
right.
going to say, there's just no profit in that. The amount of time you have to put in for the money that you're getting, there's no profit. So honestly, it was a net negative anyways. Just save yourself. We've fallen on that grenade for you. Please don't do it to yourself. It
Oh,
hurts.
don't. Please don't. Please don't. And so as Jay's waiting for the plane to pass over, Ray, can you give the folks where they can find you at? Understand, don't call you but call you if they don't have these red flags.
Oh, well, here's what I'm going to say. Please call me, because I will take 15 minutes to determine if you are a red flag or a go ahead flag. Okay. And that's safe for me to do because I don't want to make you anxious after listening to today's podcast. But you can find me on LinkedIn at Raylan Logan. So RELAND LOGAN. I am the only one, and I'm a lady with a hat, so I'm pretty easy to find. Or you can go to Gray Digital Marketing on Instagram. That's the color gray with the letter A, digital MKTG. And I respond to both fairly quickly. Jay, are you airplane free?
Also, I don't use Instagram like Ray does because I'm not an organic person. I touch it like once a year. Like, oh, I haven't seen that guy in like 5 years. Anyways, my name is Jay. I'm a paid social expert. That's what I do. So Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram ads, things like that. You find me on LinkedIn at Jayrathel, JayRathell. You find a handsome looking face with like locks looking this way. That's me. And my website is yamaro83.com. So YAMARO83.com. I love to chat with you. If it makes sense, we can work together. But other than that, good times.
Outstanding, y'all. Thank you so much for coming on the show, man. You all crush it. As always, thank you for providing this so value-rich content for people to understand. Because, look, we're all about leveling each other up, but that also means we want to level you up. And we can't do this if you are coming to the table looking for a handout versus having your hand up to say, how can I help myself? Because we are like, in a lot of ways, we're like quarterbacks. We're continuously hitting moving targets, and we understand that. But you also have to understand that your target will forever move. So don't get comfortable. There's no such thing as that in marketing. So please make sure you reach out to them because we are all specialists in our own areas, and we don't try to act like we can do each other's jobs. So Ray, thank you. And Jay, thank you. And with that, y'all, you have heard it first on Let's Talk Marketing podcast with NDUB. I'm your host, Nathan Webster. If you haven't gone on to Apple iTunes, rate it, review, and comment on the show, shame on you. Go and do that. We want to continue to help people grow. And so in doing so, please do that. Please help us. That will help you because we do this for free, y'all. This should be a paid episode, just FYI. This is a paid episode. And without further ado, I wish you nothing but the best. So dream big and Godspeed.